weeks now, your neighbor's cattle, who roam freely from place to place, have been coming into your field during the night and eating all of your produce, destroying everything. There must be some way that you can keep them from getting into your crops. You've tried wooden fences, but the large animals just knock them right over. Wouldn't it be nice if there was a fence that could keep them out and protect your crops? Well, luckily for you, there is. Barbed wire has often been the solution for this problem. Barbed wire fences have been one of the most commonly used fencing techniques since 1873. With their pointed barbs, these fences have not only helped ward off any crop-destroying animals, but have also helped keep livestock inside certain property boundaries. For years, barbed wire has been used to shape the American frontier that we have come to know. If ranchers still use the law of open range today, many people in suburban areas, not just farmers, would be upset and looking for a way to keep cattle and other animals out of their yard. In the next few minutes, you will first learn how barbed wire was brought about, and secondly, how it was used, including how differently it was first viewed by early farmers and ranchers settling the West, and not to mention how it has now become a necessity on modern farms and ranches. Although the story varies of who was the first to invent barbed wire, the first person noted to successfully develop a barbed wire fence was Joseph Glidden. While he was not the only one at the time to invent barbed wire, he would become the one most known for this accomplishment. Joseph Glidden's barbed wire fence consisted of a barb placed between two strands of wire twisted together so that the barbs could not move. This is the same idea that the second man, Isaac Elwood, had, which brought the two men into a partnership. The third man was Jacob Haish. Haish had also had the same idea as Glidden, and had developed a similar product, leading the two into a long patent battle and into a competition to produce and sell the most barbed wire. In February of 1876, the Washburn and Moen Company of Massachusetts made their way down to DeKalb County to meet with Haish. After Haish declined all of their offers, they went to Glidden and Elwood. Glidden was willing to sell his share, and Elwood was willing to incorporate with them, forming the I.L. Elwood and Washburn and Moen Company. The I.L. Elwood and Washburn and Moen Company and Jacob Haish would go on to compete to be the top producing and selling company of barbed wire. Next, I want to tell you why barbed wire fences played such an important role in shaping America. When Americans started to settle the West, they noticed that the lay of the land was different than what they were used to. The open plains seemed to roll on forever with beautiful lush grasses, only interrupted every now and again by trees and small ponds. This was perfect for cattlemen who were able to let their cattle roam free, grazing on whatever they wished. The law of open range allowed these cattlemen to do so, warning farmer pioneers not to stand in the cattleman's route to the ranges, not to block his way with towns and fields, and of all things, fences. This became a major problem for the farmers, who worked hard to grow their crops. They needed these fences to keep the cattle and other animals from eating or destroying their produce, and a barbed wire fence was the perfect solution. In Texas, however, a new theory had come about. What if we could control the range that our cattle could roam? Well, barbed wire fencing was exactly what they needed to do this. With barbed wire fences put in place around these cattlemen's ranches, the ranchers could keep an eye on where their cattle were and didn't have to wonder if any of them had wandered off and died. Another reason for Texans to set up these fences was so that the land that their cattle was on was not overgrazed. During the winters in the 1880s, northern cattlemen who still believed in an open range would drive their cattle south to Texas to graze down there for the winter. Southern cattlemen, fearing their land would be overgrazed and run dry, set up a massive drift fence. This fence would stop these northern cattlemen right in their tracks, causing them major losses to their herd. This sparked another war, one between the open range and barbed wire fences, which would eventually lead to the end of the open range and the beginning of fenced-in ranch lands. This is the image of farm and ranch lands that we in America have come to know and appreciate. These fences are important because the installation of a barbed wire fence is what separates your farm from the rest. As you can see, this brilliant idea was brought to us by Glidden, Elwood, and Hayes, has helped both farmers and ranchers and even us as regular people in various ways. So the next time you pass by a barbed wire fence, you'll be more informed as to why it has been put in place. I would like you to think about the reason it's there. Think about what the circumstances were that the farmer who put it up was dealing with, or what the rancher was trying to keep in. Just remember that without barbed wire, we would all probably still be running cattle out of our yards. With that, I would like to note my sources, which were the Jacob Hayes Manufacturing Company, the J.F. Glidden Homestead and Historical Center, the Antique Barbed Wire Society, the University of Virginia for their website to the development and rise of barbed wire, and the Kansas City Barbed Wire Museum. Thank you for taking the time to listen to me today. Are there any questions?
No.
Thank you, and y'all have a wonderful day.